A forgotten philosophy, refined over centuries, has quietly held the key to effortless action, and our modern idea of laziness has completely misunderstood it. You've been there. That moment you stare at a task you know is important, and a powerful, invisible force just holds you back. The common advice is to push harder to find more willpower. But what if the obstacle isn't a lack of force, but a misdirection of energy? What if I told you that long before brain scans, an ancient school of thought had already solved this puzzle? They developed a principle so subtle it turns resistance into fuel, and today you'll learn to apply it. But first, if exploring profound ideas that reshape your daily life resonates with you, consider subscribing to Winds of Thought. It truly helps the channel grow. Now, let's unravel the truth. Laziness is a story we tell ourselves. Think about it. You're never lazy about scrolling through your favorite feed or diving into a gripping story. The effort there is invisible. So why does it flood in for other tasks? Here's the paradigm shift. It's not you. It's not a character flaw. Contemporary neuroscience frames this not as laziness, but as a cognitive protection mechanism. Your mind, anticipating discomfort, throws up a shield. But this insight isn't new. It was the core of a strategic philosophy practiced by some of history's most disciplined thinkers. They called it the principle of shinobi, or strategic yielding. Victory didn't always come from direct confrontation. Often, it came from perceiving the flow of forces, both external and internal, and moving with them, not against them. Your biggest battle is not with tasks, but with your approach. So, your internal resistance isn't a monster to slay. It's a signal to decode. Research from prominent institutions supports that what we label procrastination is frequently an emotion regulation issue, not a time management one. This ancient principle identifies three core signals your resistance sends. Decode them and you unlock flow. First, friction with the process. This is when how you're attempting something clashes with your nature, forcing a rigid study method when your mind wanders or working in noise when you crave quiet. Second, a misaligned rhythm. You're trying to create at 11 p.m., but your peak energy arrives with the morning sun. You're fighting your own biological tide. Third, and most profound, a question of meaning. That project that feels like dragging a weight. Often, on a deep level, it doesn't resonate with your core values. A revealing study found most abandoned personal projects fail from this misalignment, not lack of grit. The liberating truth: you're not broken, you're out of alignment. And the ancient answer wasn't to berate yourself, but to prepare the ground. The master strategist Sun Tzu wrote, "The wise warrior wins first, then goes to war." Your first move isn't action, it's preparation. If your environment is cluttered with distractions, your brain expends energy just ignoring them. But curate that space, minimal tools, intentional sound, purposeful posture, and the task begins to pull you in. This is applied neuroscience. Organized spaces can lower stress hormones and sharpen focus dramatically. You aren't forcing willpower, you're engineering ease. So let's build your method. Grab something to write with. This is a 5-step practice to transform resistance. Step 1, pause and perceive. When the pull to avoid hits, stop, breathe, observe the physical sensation. Just naming it, tightness here, urge to check there, disarms its power. Step 2, translate the signal. Ask, is this friction of process, rhythm, or meaning? Your answer dictates your strategy. Change the method, shift the time, or courageously reconsider the task itself. Step 3, craft the container. This is declaring peace by design. Remove distractions. Create a physical and digital space where focused work is the path of least resistance. Make starting easier than not starting. Step 4, the minimal vow. Write the report is terrifying. Open the document and write one heading is almost laughably easy. Make the first step so small that refusal is illogical. Starting is the majority of the battle. Step 5, sustain the stream. Once moving, use focused intervals. like 25-minute sessions with short breaks. This rhythm prevents burnout and leverages your momentum. Studies show such cycles significantly boost completion rates for complex work. The true power here isn't about working more. It's about working with clarity. When aligned, effort ceases to feel like effort. You stop playing a rigged game and start designing the board. This isn't merely a productivity hack. It's a lens to see yourself anew. You weren't lazy. You were receiving signals you hadn't yet learned to read. And when you do, action becomes natural again. Change doesn't demand a leap. It begins with a single, almost effortless step. A question, an environmental tweak. Repeated daily, these small acts forge a new rhythm, one of clarity over obligation, of being pulled by purpose rather than pushed by force. So I'll leave you with this. What is the one tiny, frictionless step you can take today? And if this perspective shifted something for you, let the algorithm know. A like on this video genuinely supports winds of thought. Thank you for thinking with me.